Hello and welcome to today's show. This is Dale. Have you ever considered one of the simplest and most cost-effective way that you can safeguard your family in the event of emergency? Well, just recently I had to do some updates when some old equipment died, and I thought I'd just show you and give you the hint. See if you might want to do this for your family. You may not have one of these ugly old emergency lights there in your house. I did, when I built this one, I did add some to the plans. I added one in the central area because it's the living room has the front door, the back door, a corridor, door leads to the office, and bedroom, and of course the kitchen and dining nook. So it's a big area. Before the big open plan was popular, I had it at my house. But I also put one of these right above the back door, and it kind of lights up that whole big area. Now, you wonder, why do you need this? Because quite frankly, who can find a flashlight when the power goes out? Well, unfortunately I can, because I'm a bit of a flashlight nerd. It's like a screwdriver. You can't seem to find one, so you end up with dozens of them, right? Same thing here. So I've got an emergency light, a couple of different places around the house. Upstairs corridor that's central to the exiting. It's windowless, you can't see anything, so there's really no light that gets in there. In the stairwell, I got a center stairwell that is also windowless, and it's dark. When the power goes out, it's really dark. And of course, then the main room here with all the space in it. So anyway, let's start with this. This is the old style, incandescent bulb. Work great, lasts a long time. It's what you'd find for generations, this kind of thing. And a lot of different brands of these. I think this may be an R1. Lithonia has a number that's very similar. And what's nice about this is, let me take this, set it over. They use these big old batteries, which you can replace the batteries, and I've replaced several, but the boards in these two light fixtures have gone out. But see what it says. It says it has 6 volts, 4.5 ampere hours. That means it'll draw an amp for 4.5 hours. It only needs to go 90 minutes to meet the official standard for life safety code or whatever. But this is such a big battery. I think it's a gel cell, like you would have a four-wheeler battery, something so that it can sit upside down, it won't leak out, so the acid is in a gel form. They do go bad, give them enough time. This has been replaced, but the board went out. Now, because I did that because, I'll bring this over, because a while back I changed the bulbs out, those little 6-volt bulbs. I ordered me some Chinese LEDs, and I'm going to tell you, these things last, I don't even know how long they'll last. They put out, I think, pretty close to the same amount of light. It's a bluer light than the yellow light that the incandescent has, but the battery is so big compared to what this little light draws that when this one went out, I was sleeping there in the chair, watching TV, I fell asleep, went off early in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to take the fixture off. It just started buzzing is what it was. I couldn't get it to go off. So to stop it from buzzing, I pulled it off, laid it over on the hearth, and when I woke up the next day, 7 something in the morning, she's still burning bright. So I do like these old style, simply because, well, for one thing, the base plate that they fit on in the back seem to be all the same sizes. So if I had to go get me another fixture, I could just do it real easy. Pop the old light fixture off, pop the new one in, and and tell the maintenance supervisor, which of course me, that I'm still working on them emergency lights all day long. I'm still working on them, and pretty sweet deal, pretty easy to handle. Just swap them out, but they're incandescent. You really don't find them much anymore. So I started out to do a replacement on the first one. This one is a Lowe's type product. This company, I don't know this company. Commercial electric emergency light backup, and you see it says works for 90 minutes. That is the minimum required by life safety code and building code. Anyway, white fixture, not a bad little guy. Picked this up. This one's at Home Depot. And see, one thing I noticed that it says here, 5-year product warranty, although they will offer to sell you a 2-year extended warranty. I went over to the next place just to try to see if I could find an actual Lithonia one, hoping that it would fit the back plate and I wouldn't have to actually rewire anything. I just snapped the old one off with the other one. But it doesn't fit the old plates, and you see it's only got a 2-year warranty. And these two lights cost the same amount of money. So I'm going to go ahead and use the commercial electric one because they look very similar. I mean, unless you're like a emergency lighting nerd, you'd never pay much attention to them. In fact, to be honest, they may not be the most attractive model. There's some that are kind of round and kind of smooth and sexy like. These are kind of industrial, about as cheap as you can get. But when the light goes out, they give you plenty of time to find a flashlight or do anything else you need to do. Maybe get your coal oil lamp, your old kerosene light, maybe get it going, or your propane camp lantern or whatever you might need. It's just real handy. And in case there was a fire or anything like that, obviously they're going to kick on if the power goes out and show you your way out the door. So anyway, I'm going to change these out, finish this video. And to be quite honest, there's nothing to these. This little back plate has this little connection on it, and it fits the fixture. And like I say, in the old style, they were all the same, and so they were super easy. You could just buy a new fixture, put it on the thing, it just plug right up. It's just super simple. There's not much to wire it. You won't, unless you're in a commercial environment, you're not going to have 277 volts. So you put a wire nut on that one, and of course wire up the 120. That should go to your black wire, or maybe it's a red wire up on your wall, and then the white goes to white, and there is no ground. So it's all plastic. There's nothing to get shocked with. There's no safety ground on it. Now, what I was showing you about that battery, do you remember how big this battery is, right? It's huge. It's 4.5 amp hours, which means it can draw 4.5 amps for 1 hour, or it can draw 1 hour or 1 amp for 4.5 hours. And those two little LEDs didn't last. They didn't draw a full hour's worth of full amps worth of current. Now this is kind of your new style. They just look like just general purpose little AAA type thing, and they're like they're NiCads, and don't really say how much each one of them has. 1.2 volts, but I don't know how many ampere hours it is. But this is good enough to run those LED heads. I'll show you a picture of them. It'll run those LED heads plenty long. And of course, the only other thing you got to do right before you hook it up is you've got to connect, I guess it's this one, you got to connect the battery to the charger, because it's not good to let them go all the way, flat, not, completely dead. But very clean fixture, super easy to do. It's one of those things that may not feel very sexy to you, but lights flash and go out. And if you got kids or dogs or anything you need to roust up or something like that, so I think it's a pretty good deal. Have a little bit of emergency lighting in the house. I'm a big fan of smoke detectors and emergency lights. I'm not a big fan of residential sprinklers. I don't think they're necessary. I think they may cause a lot of damage. They're expensive to maintain and to keep them inspected and make sure that your insurance company is happy with them. If there's ever a long power outage or you go out, you don't want anything freezing. These guys are just electrical. Just a simple battery operated fixture that comes on when the power goes off. Smoke detectors, battery backs up when the power goes off. Both of them are life safety devices. A sprinkler system is not a life safety device. A lot of sprinkler contractors get mad with that, but it's not. It was developed in a warehouse situation to protect property and limit loss for insurance purposes. Now, yes, if it puts a fire out and the fire is going to kill you, a sprinkler, can help augment your life safety. But you know what I want to do? My house catch on fire. I want to get out. You got about 90 seconds when the fire starts before it's too late. So a good lit, illuminated path is not a bad thing. And smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors work to your advantage. And if you're going to have one in the kitchen, try using a photoelectric smoke detector in the kitchen, because it won't trip as much as the ionics do, the standard ones, and you may have to look for it. And okay, one more thing, if you have like gas stove or fireplace or even a gas heat, you probably want somewhere in the house a carbon monoxide detector. And a kitchen is a good place, good central location in most people's houses to put a combination carbon monoxide and photoelectric detectable smoke detector. I'm about to trip over my words. I guess I need to get this thing on the wall and get going. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.